Well, the injury bug hits the Philadelphia Eagles again. And we need to talk about it. We have news on Shaq Barrett. We have news, obviously, on the injuries going into this game against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. So let's get straight into it all.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
If I'm the betting man, and I am, and you're rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is the redemption year for Jalen Hurts. This is the year we get the bad taste out of our mouths from last season. If I'm going all in, ride or die with a Super Bowl and bringing that Lombardi trophy back to Philadelphia for a second time, you need to go to BetUS, and I'm not wasting any time with it. I'm putting $500 down as the risk and getting $7,000 back at the end of the year because this offense is going to be explosive. This defense by Vic Fangio is going to be dynamic. A 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. Click the link in the description below. Start betting and start winning. Damn it, man. I can't stand the injuries. But sometimes you just got to deal with it. And it sucks. And this is just the things that happen when you're playing in a season. Okay? So I want to go over a few things here. Now, number one, we got bad news out of practice. Really bad. Okay? Ben VanSumeren apparently was on scout team, and it looks like he had a serious knee injury, which really sucks. Man, Ben VanSumeren, obviously backup linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. We never really seen the best out of him, but we know he was a freak athlete. This was an undrafted free agent from Michigan State. Just needed to know more terminology, just needed to play more. And, I got to say, I have to give the Eagles credit for really giving him a big opportunity going into this season, because not only, was he not going to be a starting linebacker this year, he had a really good offseason program, training camp, preseason games. I thought he's been developing every single year, but what I really liked is the Eagles have been using him as a fullback. They've even thrown one pass to him, and that actually resulted in, I think, his first injury of the season. I don't know if it was a concussion. I forgot what it was. I forgot what game it was early in the year when they threw that one pass to him on the sideline. But they started to use Saquon Barkley and actually have a fullback in game. And this, I actually really have liked the way they've done different things in the backfield, whether it's Ben VanSumeren or, one thing they haven't used in a long time, especially since that Packer game in Brazil, was actually use Will Shipley and Saquon on the field at the same time, which I actually really liked. But losing Ben VanSumeren sucks, man. I don't know I don't know if it's an ACL or if it's, I don't know what it is, what's going on. Hopefully, I know it's serious. Maybe it's serious where he's just missing too much time, or is he out for a longer extent of time, more than long? I don't know, but this is it's a bummer, man, because the Eagles really haven't been using the fullback thing in the last couple games, just a little bit more. But I like that they were trying to give him a role, and he will be out probably the rest of the year. We'll probably find out more information on this injury. So obviously he will not dress on Sunday, and he will be out an extensive amount of time, and just really sucks because I really like him, man. I just getting that idea of using a fullback, I've really liked it this season, and I think it's really helped in the run game, and that's a big loss, no doubt. So hopefully he gets better, and hopefully it's not as serious, and he'll be back start next year if it's for that amount of time that he's going to be out. So, now second, I want to go over Devontae Smith. Okay, now he was a light practice on Friday, which is great. But he still says, I don't know. Even for myself, if I had a choice, I don't know if I'm still playing. He is now questionable for the game on Sunday. It's starting to look like he is going to play. That, you don't want teams to know if you're active, if you're not active. You're trying to protect yourself here. So you don't want to give the enemy too much information on who's going to be active in this game. If I was to tell from this situation, it looks like Devontae Smith's playing on Sunday. Not going to say it. I'm 100% agreeing with it, but it looks like it's going in that direction. There was already news earlier yesterday that he's trending in that direction. So that's really good. So he's well needed for this game. Well needed. Hopefully his hamstrings can stay good all year because he's had these issues for a while this season, and you don't want to lose him. I'm really happy that the Eagles are being very careful. They're not just throwing him in the game. They're being very careful. If he has to sit for a game, and even if the Eagles can get a win on Sunday, they play the Panthers next week, and they can afford to sit him, I probably would do that. If there's some guys, don't do it to a whole bunch of guys. The Eagles need to win these games and take care of business, but you're not facing the most valuable opponent the week after this week. So you maybe could sit one guy if you really have to do it. So hopefully it looks like he's going to be coming back, which is great. And big play Slay. He is still out, no practice, concussion. Isaiah Rodgers, like we talked about the other day, will probably be starting. So Slay has not practiced all week, and just let him rest up, go through protocol. Look, it's not his fault. Like literally, you go through protocol if the doctors think you're just not ready for it yet. Concussions take a toll on you. They really do. So you want to make sure that, Slay will be ready by the time he comes back. But like I said, Isaiah Rodgers coming into the fold, feel really good about it, have no issue with that. So we'll see what happens in that regard. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Shaq Barrett situation. Now, I forgot to talk about this a couple days ago. Now, we know that he was going to unretire, the two-time Pro Bowler coming back into the league. We are starting to think that the Eagles did call his agent or maybe talk to Miami about what's been going on with Shaq Barrett. So we'll see what happens. But because the only issue with this situation on getting another defensive end, if it's going to be him, is that he still is on contract with Miami right now. His contract rights are still with Miami. So Ian Rappaport came out with this a few days ago. So it says the Dolphins have elected to not to activate pass rusher Shaq Barrett off the reserve. Retired list, which means he will not play for Miami this season. That's good news. Great. They don't want him coming back to the roster. The Miami Dolphins have no interest in having Shaq Barrett back from retirement. Now it says Miami also does not intend to release him and allow him to play for another team in the midst of the playoff rush. So it looks like Miami is holding him hostage. Miami is thinking about themselves more than the player. At this point, what are they afraid to give him to a team in the AFC or something that's, they don't want to be affected by this move or something like that? I have no idea. Maybe they have background information on where he is going, or maybe the interest where he wants to go. I don't know why they don't just flat out release him, do a little bit of a settlement, and just get him out of Miami if he is still on contract there. But if he is coming back, look, at the end of the day, if this is what Miami's going to do, Shaq Barrett's just going to stay home and not even show up. Like, he's not going to show up to the facility. For what reason? If they're just not going to get rid of him, he just won't be around the team, period. But if they have no intention in playing him this season and they're just holding on to him, maybe he'll unretire for maybe free agency next season, or I don't know, maybe something like that. But hopefully, as Miami will hopefully start to lose more games, or maybe by the playoffs, they'll release him, and maybe the Eagles will actually have a shot at getting him maybe before the playoffs, by the playoffs, or something like that. Be nice to pick up another body like this. The only issue I have with picking up retired players is that, are they in shape? Like, do teams have to work these guys out? You gotta see where they're at. If they're in football body shape. So I'm excited to see what they've done with Charles Harris, that KJ guy from the Commanders that went to Dallas, got waived, came to the Eagles. So the Eagles picked up a couple edge rushers. Charles Harris, and we know we're going to get more reps with, obviously, Nolan Smith and Josh Wett. Like, a lot of these guys are going to get more reps. Hopefully, Jalix Hunt's ankle is okay. Hence the reason why he only had 9 snaps in that fourth quarter last week. So at least we got some answers from Fangio on that. With Bryce Huff still being out, going to be back with that minor surgery for the next few weeks. And then, Brandon Graham's out for the year, so it's a big loss for this defensive line. But Shaq Barrett, I think this is something valuable to kind of keep our ear to the wall with this and see what happens. Because if Miami's in no playoff contention at some point, or they might end up releasing him maybe later on. We still have some weeks left, but they might release him later, and I think Howie Roseman will keep his eyes on this situation. We need to see what we look like before anything by the end of the year, what this defensive line is going to look like. Life without Brandon Graham, that entire situation going forward. So we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We talked about, obviously, Ben VanSumeren out with a serious knee injury. Really sucks. Devontae Smith, questionable for Sunday. I think he'll return, but we'll see. Slay is out, obviously, and the Shaq Barrett situation, which I think we'll keep. We'll kind of keep close to it and see what happens in the meantime going forward. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the news in general. Isaiah Rodgers coming in, Slay's out. Devontae Smith questionable. We'll see what happens. What do you think this defensive line is going to look like by the end of the season? Do you think we're not going to miss a beat, or do you think maybe Charles Harris or somebody else is going to, help with this rotation? Jalix Hunt getting more snaps? You guys let me know. It's going to be a really interesting time. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes them up, smiles fly. I can't even talk today. Peace out, guys. Peace.